The greatest and the first victory is to conquer yourself. I mean, that's interesting. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching from. We are glad to come this morning again. Professional. Okay, I thought I was going to change this to Teacher's Daily Devotion, but I failed to do that. Now, this is Teacher's Daily Devotion, Professional Daily Devotion, where we inspire professionals to go above and beyond, to look, instill, to inculcate certain skills within them to cultivate the act of excellence. And this morning, in our series of self discipline, we are looking at breaking the overcoming barriers to self discipline. You see, many people are struggling with discipline not because they are weak, but because of one thing: they do not recognize what's actually stopping them. So we're going to be unveiling some of these things and also, as usual, suggest how to overcome them. And we're going to be using the framework. I mean, we use frameworks so that we can remember and then track what we are saying. So break is what we are going to be using this morning. I think one of these I'm going to do a quiz for the audience. You can win some fantastic prizes. Let's see who have been following us. Mention some of the, I mean, not today anyway. I won't tell you. All right, so let's continue. Break now. BREAK. The B is battling procrastination. R, resisting emotional impulses. E, eliminating excuses. A, avoiding overcommitment. And K, keeping consistency. So, first one is B, battling procrastination. One of the major problems. I mean, when you see someone say, "Oh, this guy is not disciplined," it's the fact that the person cannot get to do what's supposed to do at the right time. And oftentimes, this is not due to any other thing other than procrastination. You just feel okay, you can do it. Especially this happens to those who are very gifted. You are very gifted and believe you can always work under pressure. You believe that, okay, don't worry, I can put it up till another time. You keep on putting it up until other work will come over it, and before you know it, you are struggling. It has been defined as the silent killer of dreams, and we know this. Everybody knows that what you're supposed to do now, if you don't do it before you know it, other things will climb on it. Okay, so why do we delay tasks at times? We are the task may be boring. You may not really enjoy that. Some things that I have really personally pushed aside. So this morning I've planned that I'm going to sit down and then finish them. So you are not the only one anyway. So what are the ways now? I want to suggest some three ways to overcoming this procrastination. First thing is use what we call the 5 minute rule. Okay, sit down with that thing and then dedicate 5 minutes to doing it. Okay, commit 5 minutes to just build momentum. Who knows? By the time you start that thing in 5 minutes, you are going to enjoy it and gain some level of interest, and then you will continue. You can take a break, okay, but please be sure that the break is not a distraction. Okay, that's it. Okay, just dedicate 5 minutes. Dedicate. Don't do any other thing to that thing. Who knows? That book you say you want to write will be postponed, will become interesting to you. That proposal you want to have will just be that thing that you want, and those things you want to do, the video you want to edit, may just be exactly what you are going to enjoy doing. Okay, and then set artificial deadlines for yourself. Ask yourself, okay, in the next 7 days, okay, I'm going to do this. That, I mean, that thing costs 14 days. I mean, excuse me for that. All right, you are going to do this work for 14 days, and then you are setting yourself 7 days for it. Okay, so 17, something of 7 days, set a deadline of 3 days. Just artificial. That's why not the main deadline, but just set a particular deadline. I mean, someone who is coaching me in a particular endeavor just called and said, "But when is the deadline?" I'm like, "Hello, hello." So, and that is good. Set deadline so that you will not procrastinate. And I learned this from my pastor. Growing up very young, that start when it seems you are not ready. And that is one thing I do. When it seems you are not ready, start. Do not wait for perfection. That's one thing about discipline. You think, oh, you are waiting for when everything is perfect. No, jump out there and start. We keep on getting better. We've got to rush this morning. The R there is resisting emotional impulses. Many of us just do things as it comes to our mind. No, always take a break, okay? Before you say that thing out, before you scroll on the internet, before you react, before you say that thing, take yourself back. Some of the things you have said, I mean, make people see that very indisciplined because you just talk. I mean, just someone and then you promise, okay, don't worry, I'll do it. I'm out of impulse. So learn how to resist that emotional impulse. How do you do that? Pause before you act, okay? And somebody has said count 10 backwards. I mean, anything you want to do, just make sure you pause before you start, okay? And tend to create some barriers around things that make you to jump out like that. Okay? Create a level of barrier there before you jump out. Some of you also you see posts on social media, you want to quickly jump. I mean, things that are not even your business. This one has fought this one, and then before you know it, you are the one jumping to comment. So be careful because you don't know where you are going to meet whoever you are commenting on. Okay, and then the E there, let's quickly go, is eliminating excuses. Yes, I learned this also growing up. I mean, I'm talking about things I've learned growing up now, that there is no amount of excuse you want to give that can replace success. So I always ask myself, okay, why didn't I succeed in this thing? And because okay, all these things put together now, can they give you success? No. So do not allow excuses in your life. Okay, excuses make today to maybe very easier, but it makes tomorrow harder. Let me put that properly. Excuses make today easier, but tomorrow harder. Okay, if you give excuse now, oh yeah, you may feel cool, but you are only pushing something for the future. There will always be a reason for you to delay or not to do something. What do you do? Why not flip it now? I don't have time. Why not create time? Nobody has time for anything. What some of us are doing these days now is because you are creating time. Going to work this morning, coming back from work, the lesson plan you wrote, the proposal you wrote, and everything you did today is because you created time for it. So don't always say there is no time. That's one excuse that you need to overcome. You need to just learn to create time for it. Okay, and then treat your personal growth, whatever you want to do, as a major responsibility. See it that you are not going to get paid if you don't do this. Many of us, if you don't really have anything maybe at the end of the month that will pay us salary, you don't really get to do what you are supposed to do. Okay, but make it a personal responsibility that, okay, I must wake up 6:30 to do this, I must do this by this particular time, and make it like a job description or job responsibility for yourself. And finally, take personal responsibility. Okay, responsibility rather. No matter the circumstance, acting like a victim. Oh, it's because of this, it's because of that. There is no amount of victim acting or victim cards we are playing that can replace success. Okay, just get rid of it. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody celebrate the best excuser in the world. Okay, regardless of what you are going through, nobody cares. Let me tell you the truth. Nobody cares for all those excuses. But when you come out and you are able to produce success out of it, then you will be celebrated for it. Oh, the A there is avoid overcommitment. We won't stay long here. We said it yesterday. Learn to say no. Okay, don't be guilty when you say no. What you cannot do, you cannot do it. Okay, just say that no and move on to the next thing you can handle. And okay, in case you feel like, okay, say no is too much for you, then delegate. Always call someone. Somebody had called me for a particular job, mighty job, big one. And I knew that I was very busy with a new job. Yeah, what they called me for was bigger than what I was doing. But because I had already shown my commitment in this particular one, I could not, because I was going to lose the two. I had to call another person to say, take over the job. So learn to delegate. So don't be afraid. They won't take your business. Don't worry. They won't take it. Okay. You are still going to be relevant. So learn to say no when you're supposed to say no, and then keep consistency so that people can rely on you. You can be reliable. Make it a daily habit. Okay. What you're supposed to do it regularly. Okay. Schedule your set up your priorities. Okay. Now something here in the script here says that define what success is to you at the end of the day. Okay, by the time I'm going to bed now, okay, yesterday I was going to bed now, I felt fulfilled because I was able to arrive where I was supposed to get to on time. I was able to get my boss into the car to get the program. I was able to coordinate a lot of things very well. I was able to call the printer. I was able to do a lot of things. I was able to book a hall. I was able to do so many things. And by the time I was sleeping yesterday, I felt successful. So define to yourself to every day what is success to me at the end of the day. I mean, that feel that yes, I've come out to succeed today. I mean, I've succeeded today is something, okay? And then you can track your progress, okay? And then in case you miss it, do not let it be second time, okay? You're supposed to do something now and you miss it. Please, the next opportunity, make sure you take advantage of that quickly. So we've looked at the break, and the time will not permit me to go over it again. But let me please say this in about 30 seconds. If you struggle with procrastination, set a 5 minute rule and start today. Do that thing in 5 minutes. If you struggle with impulses, pause before reacting and remove distraction. If you struggle with excuses, own your time and change your language. If you struggle with overcommitment, practice saying no. If you struggle with inconsistency, start small and track your progress. Let's take our words of affirmation quickly. I love this one. I want to say it meaningfully. I remove every barrier to self discipline. I take control of my time, actions, and growth. I choose progress over excuses. I choose consistency over delay. And I choose excellence over mediocrity. Thank you for being professional. Thank you for working on yourself to make our world better. We send